So in this chapter, we're going to learn all about selections and channels. And selections and channels are basically just two sides of the same coin. So we'll begin with selections and then we'll work our way into channels by the end of the chapter. To begin with, I want to look at some of the tools that are on our toolbar. We have the rectangular selection tool, we have the magic wand, we have the lasso selection, and then we have the selection adjuster. And these will be primarily what we're working with in this chapter. To begin with, if we click on the rectangular selection tool, you'll see that up here in a property bar that we have the ability here to choose the lasso tool, the polygonal selection tool, the oval selection tool, as well as the rectangular selection tool. So if I begin with the rectangular selection tool, and I simply click and drag out, just like if we were making that rectangular shape, you can see that we get that marching ants marquee, and this creates a selection that we can now paint within or do whatever we want to do. Now, if we want to remove part of this, all we need to do is hold down Alt and then click and drag, and whatever was within that rectangle that we just clicked and drag will be cut away. If we hold down Shift, we can add to whatever was already there. Now, if we want to constrain, things become a little bit more complicated. What we need to do is hold down Shift to add, and as you can see, we can just make whatever kind of rectangle we want, and then add the Control and Alt keys. And what happens is now this is creating our rectangle, but it's allowing us to draw out from the center instead of drawing from one corner to the other. If we let go of Shift and then press Shift again, now we've constrained it to a perfect square. If we come over here to the oval selection tools, you can see, and I'll just hit Control D to clear this out. If I just click and drag, I made an oval selection. If I want to remove part of that, I click and drag with Alt held down. And if I want to add, I click and drag with Shift held down. So you can see we can quickly and easily do fairly complex selections just using these simple tools. Now again, if we want to constrain, if we're going to start with adding something, we're going to go ahead and hold down Shift, begin to click and drag, and then add Control and Alt, and this will again put us into drawing from the center mode. See how it automatically switched and we're pulling out from the center now. And then if I let go of Shift and then press back down on Shift, you can see now that I've got a perfect circle. And if I want to remove part of something using a constraint, I start with the Alt key, click and drag, and then add the Control and Shift keys, and now I'm constrained, like so. So if I just want to go ahead and Control D, just go ahead and create just a perfect circle right from scratch, just go ahead and hold down the Control, Alt, and Shift keys all together, and that will constrain you right from the get-go. But like I said, if you want to add to that, you need to start with either Alt or Shift and then add the other two keys. Aside from those tools, we also have the lasso tool, and the lasso tool is basically a freehand selection drawing tool. If we hold down Alt, we can remove freehand. If we hold down Shift, we can add freehand. The polygonal selection tool is basically a connect the dots type tool. And when we want to close the selection, just double click and it will automatically close. If you hold down Alt, you can click, double click to close it. If you hold down Shift to add, you can double click to close it, and you can see that we can create some fairly complex selections by simply controlling which modifier keys we're pressing and which one of these tools we're using at any given time. So a really, really excellent set of tools for creating any type of selection that you might want to create, for controlling how you're painting or any kind of effects that you're applying. So selections are going to be really, really important to what we're doing. But here's something that may not be really obvious to you. I'm going to hit Control D to go ahead and get out of that, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab our pen tool. And this I'm going to quickly just draw out a curve like so. Alright, so this is just a curve like any other curve that we've ever done. You can see we have Shape 55 is the name of the shape. We can go up to Shapes and then Convert to Selection. The shape layer goes away and what we're left with is a selection. So part of the reason why I showed you shapes first was so that we could know that we can do some really, really sophisticated selections using our Shapes tools as the starting point for that.